and welcome to Legend of the Stoned Owl, Episode 2. My name is Chris.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Alan.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, very good.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, we're excited. We got a ton of crap to talk about today. I mean, all right, just a little bit of stuff coming up. We've got some pretty cool news that you guys are excited about, some stuff. Then we're going to cover a little bit of preview of God of War and Sonic 4. And then we're going to be on to our massive review of BioShock 2. But before we get into all of that, I want to just take a second and kind of tell people what this new show is about. So Legend of the Stoned Owl is our gaming show on Jupiter Broadcasting that isn't so much about like, this game's coming out on this date and it's going to be at this price and you're going to have it on these platforms. Now, we're going to have some of that in there, but it's not really like this late break news. It's not really just about the high, the news items, the headlines. It's more of a focus on the game details. We're going to go in depth on things. We're really going to have a conversation, a discussion about gameplay elements and storyline and different aspects of the game that are innovative and things like that a lot of other shows just kind of gloss over. That's really what the show's about. And where our format is kind of a one episode will preview a game and then followed by a review. And then in the following episode, the game that we've generally previewed in the previous episode will now be featured as the review. So we're going to try to do that whenever possible, whenever the game release schedules work out like that. So the idea is on this show, because of the way our segments will work out, you'll first hear about the news of the show. So with the news of the game, when the game's first announced, we'll be like, hey, yeah, this game's on our radar. Then when it's just about to come out, you'll hear a preview on our show where it's kind of a description of what's coming on. Maybe we've seen a few gameplay videos, some extra teasers, things like that. And then by the time the next episode rolls around, now the game's out and it's in full review mode. We've got our hands on it. We've played it, all that kind of stuff. What that means is it's almost like the whole evolution, the whole cycle of the life of that game. It'll start and you'll go through the whole cycle right here on the show as it goes out through the ecosystem. And that's really kind of what we're about. That's what we're going to focus on. So it's kind of a different take. And the video is also really different because you don't really see us. You'll see screenshots and visuals and different things of the games that we're talking about because we're focusing on the content. The focus is to put you there in the game, not to focus on us, the hosts. Right, guys?
Right.
We're here to talk about the art and the material, not to talk about us.
Definitely
No
not
one cares
talk
about
us.
And I'd say we've just done enough of that. So let's get into the game news. All right, gentlemen, it's time for the gaming news segment on Legend of the Stoned Owl. We got a couple of things coming up, but first on the list, we got to give a little nod to our buddies over at Blizzard. A little bit of bad news coming out of Activision Blizzard. They have lost $286 million from the rhythm game market. Guitar Hero, DJ Hero. Does that make you guys laugh or what? How are they losing money at this?
It's because they keep dumping out the Hero franchise games. Just so many. How many has it been? Like 5,
But
7?
people are buying them, aren't they?
Yeah, it's not even the 5 or 7 though. It's all the Van Halens and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow. So it's not really okay. So I thought these things were selling like off the shelf, but they're actually not selling all that well at all.
The first ones did really, and then the market just got really saturated because there's just you have the Guitar Hero ones, and then you have the Rock Band ones, and the Rock Bands are coming up with the downloadable content.
Yep.
So
That's where they're making it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And Guitar Hero, that's the one thing. Like I keep going back, I keep buying it. I bought DJ Hero.
Right.
Justin and I, we play it all the time. Every time he comes over, we pop it in.
Right.
We could scratch a couple songs.
Yeah.
But they just don't come out with the new content like Rock Band does. And
Right.
since they've only Rock Band's come out with what, 3 with the Beatles one.
Yeah.
So
Really?
Yeah, only 3 versus I can't even list all the ones that the Guitar Hero, the Activision has come out. So
Yeah, they just practically dropped the number and just started naming them.
Huh. Really?
It'd be ridiculous.
I had no
by
idea.
now.
All right. Okay, well, that makes sense to me. All right. Let's move on because I think what we really want to talk about is StarCraft II. All right, but we had a little sneak peek. We've got a beta coming up for the multiplayer. Online beta is actually going to be playable. Right. It's going to be like this month. Anybody care?
it's I don't know.
I kind of care. It's just kind of funny. You're sitting there talking about how Activision and Blizzard lost all this money, and this is an Activision Blizzard game that would,
Right.
make a whole ton of money.
Yeah.
Everybody's been waiting for it forever.
Right.
And you just kind of wondered why wouldn't they pool their resources together a little bit and drop some of the garbage they do?
So I guess I didn't realize this is going to be a pay thing. Are you telling me here that is this like a It's like a PC game that you get, or is this like an MMO online monthly fee kind of thing?
I'm
Do you
pretty
know?
sure this is like the old Warcraft.
Yeah.
old
Okay,
StarCraft.
all right. It's just now I can do it over BattleNet.
I've heard rumors that they're gonna start charging for BattleNet, but really I don't think there's any.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
yeah.
All right, so are you guys gonna play it or not? Skipping it? You gonna give it a bit, see what happens?
I might do the demo and just see. I don't know. It's just more the same. And while it's always been cool and everything, I'm
You're
not.
done with it. You've moved on.
I'm just not that much of a PC gamer.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like the thing's 10 years old by now.
I know,
isn't
but
it?
I have gotten so many years of play out of the first one with buddies. It's just one of those games that you can kind of sit down and you can just play with your friends for just a few hours at a time, sometimes 4 or 5 hours. You can get some really good solid LAN gameplay, and you know it you can customize it up and you can have the AI that's actually fairly decent, and it's I don't know, it's new enough. So I just figure if you took that, only gave it better graphics and made it look cooler, that'd be pretty cool. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. I haven't LAN since high school. I don't think.
I
Yeah.
10
never
10
have,
years.
dude.
And even that was only a couple times. But when I did, yeah, you're right. It was always fun playing with friends. And
Yeah, see
if,
that's
if
I,
the
that's,
three of us could link up and play, I'd give it a go. But
Yeah, okay. All right.
I don't
Well,
know.
we'll see, guys. I don't
Of course,
know.
you're gonna be able to link that one up, though, right?
Well, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. You've got to.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be making any money.
Yeah.
If you just had to LAN, I don't.
Well,
I don't-
isn't there a single-player campaign in that too?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that no good?
It's just not the bread and butter, I guess. Most of the people that play it that I know of, anyways, just go for the they go for the multiplayer. You know, the against each other.
I gotcha.
Did the original Warcrafts have
Yeah.
Did they have a big BattleNet following, or was that pretty much just?
You know, I don't know. I never did it.
I'm pretty sure. The Warcraft, I really only had the demo CD-ROM that I played over and over and over again, but that was only single player.
Yeah, I played all three of them.
I
There was
only.
three
But-
of them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, this is StarCraft II.
Well,
I'm
only
talking
one
about
StarCraft. He's talking
Warcraft.
about
Oh,
Warcraft.
sorry. All right, let's move on. We're lollygagging here. We're getting off topic. It's been a little while. All right, so the next story is Fable 2. All right, guys.
Three.
Sorry. Fable 3. Tell me about this game. Why are we looking forward to Fable 3?
I'm not sure if I am anymore.
Really?
Yeah, they're kind of taking out a lot of the RPG elements that I really liked from the other ones.
Oh, okay.
That's like the big
Is
big
this more of a
news
shooter
from,
now?
from X10.
No, it's not a shooter, I guess, at all.
But they are taking some of the elements, like the health system is more of a first person shooter where it's the same. It's kind of damage on screen blood kind of thing. It sounds like I
Okay,
don't know.
Okay.
Or red. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, all it said was it was going to be in the vein of a first-person shooter. They didn't say how, just kind of
Huh.
the typical way they do it, I guess.
Okay.
But
So,
and then dropping a lot of the RPG elements, and I don't know. It could go either way for me, really. It just depends on how they do it. But the Peter Molyneux guy. He's pretty crazy. His ideas are normally kind of cool if he makes them work how they need to work. But
Yeah, they say this one, instead of, starting off as a kid and everything, you're going to pretty much a king. And it's how you run your empire is what I heard about it.
you know what? I did want to mention this. So, in the chat room, JS Raider, or I can't, Stalder, he mentioned wasn't there a whole thing about a LAN party brouhaha with StarCraft 2? Excuse me.
nice.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I think even to play LAN, you have to go through BattleNet.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that BS?
Did you have to when you were playing? Because didn't you
No,
play a bunch-
StarCraft 2.
Oh,
the new game. You got to have a
Oh,
BattleNet account in order to even do LAN.
That's
Well,
weird.
Well, at the
Which,
same time,
which
you
is
guess,
BS. Not that I really
But
think
if
BattleNet's
it's
going away.
free, then
Yeah,
it's
I
really
know,
not a big deal.
But it's the old school spirit of taking like 30 machines in a lab somewhere and like hooking them all up. And I don't know. You got to have a BattleNet account for it. I don't know, dude. It's just something about it.
yeah.
there was a huge petition, he says.
Yeah. I didn't mean to gloss over that. I got all caught up and moving on because we got off track. But I did want to make that mention about StarCraft 2, and I do think that's crap.
Yeah, I don't see why they do that. Rather, I guess just to get more people.
Piracy.
So that means even
Because they can check to see if BattleNet in order to have a valid BattleNet account, and when you
You have
log
to have
in,
the real
you
copy
have
of
to
the
have
game.
you have to have a retail verified copy. You
Well,
can't
then
have
as long as you don't steal it, what's your beef, man?
Well, no. I'm not saying I'm going to steal it. I mean, no, that's a good point. No, that's a good point. But the thing is, like,
Did it also mean if you don't have the internet, you can't play it then? You got
Exactly.
Okay.
yeah,
you got to be online in order to play a game in the same room as another person.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, I
Thank
did
you.
not
Yeah.
think of that part. Okay,
what
that's
I-
messed up.
So
Yeah.
once you're
Okay.
verified, you play on
Then
the
that
local
takes
network.
away the whole LAN
no,
aspect
no, no,
of
no,
it.
no, no, no. Once you're verified, you play over the local network.
Well, yeah, I
you
know,
go PC to
but
PC, so you get LAN speed.
But still, then you have to connect, like you said, those 30 computers up to the internet, where before you could just hook them up to themselves and not have to worry about the network.
Exactly.
That's messed up.
Now, who doesn't have internet everywhere now?
Well, still,
Who doesn't?
It's more of a hassle.
No, it is. Well, I mean, yeah. And then Rikai in the chat room says, oh yeah, so Rikai just says the LAN functionality is still local. It just connects to the Blizzard anti-privacy servers and update your stats and stuff like that on the Blizzard on the Blizzard.
Well, I mean, it's pros and cons, but
mostly cons.
as a whole, it just seems kind of odd.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
you got to think too. Since the last time maybe you guys played BattleNet and everything. I mean, like we're talking about 10 years ago, 8 years ago.
Yeah, I was 56K. I was dialing that
yeah,
up.
everybody-
Yeah, definitely, dude. Yeah, but and that goes to show though, like BattleNet has been around for a very long ass time, and like some of the people were also saying like, well, what happens when BattleNet shuts down? What if Blizzard goes out of business and BattleNet?
They're not.
And then I know. Exactly, dude. All right. Okay. Well, so should we move on? Was there anything else in our news segment we wanted to cover? Oh, we're talking about Fable 3. Sorry, guys.
The thing that I was really happy about Fable this time is the co-op is going to be your fully customized character this time.
Okay.
Because last time they
Oh,
had the rubber
God.
band effect on you where, you had to stay within the same screen and you can only go so far away from your friend. And the way they made it sound when it was coming out was that
Open world, you're just running around in your world, but or
if
his
you
world,
invite me
you know?
to your world, then I can run around and do whatever I want to, and I'm not bound to you.
Gotcha.
And then you got to pick a kind of
a custom, not
it's like a template.
yeah.
They just have like 8 templates that you can choose from, and it's one of those guys.
So you have to be a generic character rather than your actual guy.
Gotcha. So that sucks.
Yeah,
But you did get all the XP and everything, which was good.
It's just not like the guy
but
you really invest.
it's not your guy,
You invest in a guy.
right?
and
Yeah.
you get to bring your dog into it.
So
Yeah, that's cool.
there's definitely I
I
don't
like
know.
dogs.
As more info comes out on this, I'd really like to check it out, but it's just right now it seems kind of weird to me.
I gotcha. All right. So that's the word on Fable 3, but obviously we're gonna check it out. So we'll talk about it, I suppose, down the
More
road.
to come.
I'm definitely not writing it off, but I'm waiting to see what happens with it. Besides, if it's the same old
First
stuff.
impressions are a little bit nervous, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because of the previous ones.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that's the word on that. All right. With that, it's now time to move on to our preview segment. And now we're into our preview segment of the show. This is something we're going to look forward to every week because we're going to talk about what's coming out, and then hopefully it's going to be in the review section. Right now, you guys said, Chris, what do you want to talk about? I was like, oh, I don't know. I got a couple ideas. And you're like, God of War. You got to talk about God of War. God of War 2 is coming out.
Three.
God of War 3, right. See, I don't even know. God of War 3 is coming out, but tell me why. Why should I know? Guys.
Because it's the greatest game ever made, maybe.
Well, because of God of War 2 being such a stellar game?
Well, the first one was really good, and the second one...
No, why you say it's maybe tell me.
I'll tell you what.
The best
Why-
game
why
ever
is it the
made,
best
dude.
game?
What is it?
Yeah, what makes you say that?
Because it's more interesting than most games.
all right. I was wondering why, though.
They got the best story I've ever heard in the game.
Okay.
Hands down.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. This is the one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is a good story. That is a deep, rich story.
Yeah, it is, and I guess this is going to be the last of this story. It's going to wrap everything up, so whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and then the franchise is still going to continue, I read.
So like prequels or something, or
Well, whatever.
whatever.
Yeah, it's not going to... I'm sure it's going to have ties to the story and everything, but it's not really going to have...
it's not going to be like the storyline?
Yeah. It's going to finish
Gotcha.
with this game.
Because
Gotcha.
basically the second one kind of led up to how this one's beginning. It kind of led up to an epic
All three
battle,
games.
right?
Yeah, the first game, you are fighting the gods. I guess the whole game you are.
Check
but
that 3D compatibility checkbox in that desktop presenter window on your right. Right there. There you go. Thanks. Sorry. Go ahead, dude.
I don't know.
Well, you were saying you're fighting the gods of war.
Oh yeah, you're fighting the first one. All the gods are helping you to get rid of Ares, And then after you I'm not ruining anything for anybody. It's been 5 years. But it's then after that you defeat Ares, and then you take his spot as the god of war, and then you kind of fall from their graces in the second game, and
Right.
and then you're all the titans this time around. They're helping you fight the gods, and the second one ended with you on the back of a titan crawling up to
Okay.
Olympus.
Oh. Wow.
And I'm pretty sure it starts right off where the first one or where the second one left off.
Gotcha. And this is going to be now, Alan. Have you played this game? Are you as jazzed about the storyline as?
I honestly haven't played either one of them.
Is this game? Are you going to start with this game, or are you going to pass on?
I might. If I have enough time, I wouldn't mind playing the collection because they came out with the collection of the first two on the PS3, and they kind of redid it and everything. They look amazing, and I've watched it over at Justin's house, and every time I watch it, even watching it, it is fun to watch. It is a fun game to watch.
That was my experience. Yeah.
The music, the cinematics.
I did the same thing. He was playing, and I was there, and he's like, "Do you want to try it?" No. I'm just
it's like I'm fine just watching.
It's like a movie.
Like I don't want to play it like when I'm watching him because I see all the combos he's doing, and I see all the moves and the crazy things that just look amazingly badass, and I just know that when I get the controller, like I'll do a little like funk.
Yeah, and you want to watch the experience.
I want to see, you know, Justin kicking some ass.
All right, now, so you're going to play or not play?
Like I said, I'm probably gonna give it a chance. If I get enough time, I'd like to play the first two, but I don't know if I necessarily need to. I can probably just read about it and be fine and kind of hop on the train. I'd really like to play it though.
Yeah, this one around there's up to 50 enemies on the screen at once. When in the previous ones there was, I think, like the max was 20, maybe even less than that.
Wow.
And so there's gonna be 50. There's gonna be a whole bunch of people coming at you, and they're saying all their armor and their heads and everything. It's all randomly generated, so you're not gonna see waves of the same.
So
people
it's gonna look like a big crowd.
Nice.
Yeah. So
that's gonna be intense.
Yeah. So if you have a nice TV and you're looking at it and everything, and you can take notice, they're not gonna be the same. They're the same class of people.
Wow.
They're similar looking, but you can tell that they're part of an
They'll just
army,
be a little-
not just clones.
Huh.
Yeah, and
That's awesome.
what I also like too is that they're gonna be more organized. The enemies are this time around. So like one group of enemies, of a different bunch of enemies. So you get the little underling, weaklings, and up to the medium and hard guys on the screen at once. There's gonna be a leader, and if the leader stays, you can kill him first, and you'll screw up all their tactics and everything.
So they kind of become kind of screwed up, and then they're more vulnerable.
Yeah, the leader makes them stronger and fight in formations and everything this time around. That
Cool.
wasn't on the previous two.
That's a nice touch.
Yeah,
That's that gives you some real strategy options.
I've always really, really liked that part of it.
And I just I read about it, and they said that the creator said that like even though the events are scripted, the game is scripted, everything is modeled realistically in the 3D and everything. So yeah, this.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about God of War 3 before we move on to the one I'm super excited about, probably more than I should be?
Which one's that?
Oh, well, it's the. Do you want to go to it, or do you want to say anything? You want to wrap anything with God of War? Anything else?
I think that's enough God of War.
All right. Well, here's what I'm really excited about. I know this is stupid. This is probably not something I should be so excited about, but there's word of a Sonic the Hedgehog 4 for the new consoles. And
I just love hearing that.
I just want to check it out. It looks so good.
And the rings.
So they're showing, the 1991, like this old classic. Then they're showing like the old Sega Sonic that we knew, like kind of throughout the years. Now they're showing it for today.
Wow.
And it's looking cool.
Watching the video, it's the old levels just.
They look awesome though.
In like
side
high
scrolling.
So is this gonna be
additional new content?
Is this gonna be arcade stuff?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like the way they're doing an episode.
It says download it this summer. Yep.
Yeah. Well, and check this out.
Summer, holy hell!
I'll be in Alaska.
Check this out. Here's a little leaked. Leaked footage played off somebody's Xbox.
It's bad. It looks just like the old levels.
No,
but
it's just guy shooting his screen.
Yeah.
But it looks. You can get an idea. It looks like the old levels,
but just beautiful.
Gorgeous. Yeah. So this is gonna be like, I love this sort of not retro, but kind of old school stuff that I'm sort of in my old comfort zone with. This is gonna be for me a great replay.
It is very comforting. It's what we grew up playing. Well,
It's
I
like
grew up
it's
playing.
like when there's like that meal you grew up with that you love. Like my mom makes like tuna noodle casserole. That it's just like that's my homemade meal.
And
But it's this with video games.
yeah,
Whoa there.
And listen
Oh.
to Rikai down there saying it's coming out for pretty much every system
Xbox,
possible.
PlayStation with DLC.
which is nice.
Downloadable content.
Oh, PS3 downloadable content. And even on the iPhone. Wow. So the iTouch too.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be all.
That would be too bad on the iTouch, I suppose.
I don't like
Yeah,
iTouch
I wouldn't-
games.
No.
I'd be more inclined to get it just on the.
For sure on the screen or on the Xbox.
Oh
or
yeah,
something. Yeah,
with
definitely.
a real controller in hand.
Yeah.
Which
all
is
right.
nice too, because all the Sonic games that have come out so far,
Yeah.
well, except for the BioWare one, has gotten pretty much pooped on. No
The
one's
BioWare one got good scores.
well, decent, not good, but
Was the
Yeah.
RPG type one?
yeah, I think it got like 7s or 8s, maybe.
I'm surprised it did that good.
Well,
Huh.
They might have just done.
But
it
I totally agree with you. It's this. But they can't get this wrong because it's the same thing. You can't get it wrong.
yeah, I mean,
it's
it
already been a
reminds
success.
it reminds me what they did with Turtles in Time for the arcade, like a little bit ago. They
Yeah.
just basically redid the game, but did it in amazingly beautiful visuals, like it looks like they're doing here. But
Yeah,
it looks
and
like in
you know
this
what I
one
did?
they're
I bought
adding
it.
more stuff.
I bought it.
Did you?
Yeah. Right.
We did the demo, and it's just more the same. And
I know, dude. But
I'll wait for it to come on sale.
I was like my little brother and I. That was like our first game. That
Okay.
We multiplayer. On
Oh,
the Super Nintendo.
yeah,
And it's like
it makes sense.
now I get an opportunity to buy that game. I gotta get that game. That's a fundamental game, and now it's on a whole new console generation for me.
Yeah.
That's like one of my core video games. My foundational games, and now I can rebuy it and make it look better than ever. It's
See,
like
that's what I'm thinking about Sonic.
yeah.
That's what it is.
That's
for
why
me.
if they made
Justin and I grew up with the Sega Genesis. Like that was our main. Well,
I'd be
That was the main system we
thrilled if they
had.
re-released like the Marios, and like they
Oh,
redid
yeah.
the visuals
Well, I
like they're
mean,
doing here with
the
Sonic.
new Super Mario Brothers for
It's
the
in
Wii.
the same spirit,
Yeah,
but I want to play those too. But I
Yeah.
don't want to spend a ton of money. So you got, I don't know. I was giving.
they could revamp it.
I
It
still
would-
download
they'd
it.
Make so much money.
I get the ROMs every now and then and play them for sure.
Oh
you know?
yeah, but it's not the same with the ROMs. I
Right.
mean, it's just you need. That's why I don't like the arcade games when they just do it and
Right.
it's
It's
just like
yeah.
they put out a port basically.
I agree.
Like they need to do all the games like this.
Yeah.
Just gloss it over and just make it look.
Well, the reality
pretty.
is it's probably completely recoded.
Oh well, yeah.
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 They just line for line redid it. All right. Anything else we want to talk about in the preview section, or should we get into our review of BioShock?
I like what Rikai has to say too down there
What's he
about
say?
their no more Knuckles or Tails or anybody. It's just Sonic this time around.
Oh yeah.
As it should be.
Yeah, as it should be.
I didn't mind
totally
tails
agree.
flying around, but it did get annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it got
But-
stuck one time on me or something like that on one of the levels, and it just pissed me off.
Yeah,
All right.
that never should happen.
All right. Now should we jump into that thing? That old review we're gonna do?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's do the review of BioShock 2. And now it is time for that BioShock 2 review. And I'm going to kick it off with a little bit of setup here. We did it as such. I played on the PC. I got the PC version of the game. Justin and Alan have the Xbox 360 version. Now, if I recall correctly, Justin, you saved every time, and Alan, you killed every time, right? When extracting.
I did harvest all the little sisters.
And you played the route, Justin, of no harvest.
Yeah, everybody that I could save, I saved,
Okay.
and the
So
people.
that's our look. That's our take. And I killed on the PC.
You did.
Well, I would have.
Indiscriminately.
I would have. What I want to say up front is I haven't played the games for one of these games that's titled Games for Windows brand, and this is my first experience with a game that has Xbox Live integrated into a PC game. So when I play the game, I sign into my Xbox Live profile. I see my Xbox Live friends. I get Xbox Live messages.
And
I
achievements
unlock
and
it. I
everything.
unlock into achievements in the game for Xbox Live.
Nice.
It's all integrated into Live now, and the multiplayer experience is presented through what they call Live.
So you're playing people on the Xbox?
I don't know. I don't want to say yes or no, but I don't think so.
I think I'm saying this just without knowing, but I think that on some games you do, but not
Really?
all games.
That's really nice.
Was
'cause that-
Tony Hawk that way?
I want to say so. I
yeah, see, now
wish
thought,
I knew.
Okay, I thought
just
not,
don't.
but I don't know. Maybe it is a per game basis. That would be really great. I thought it was a really slick, smooth experience. It did the update for the game pretty nice for me. It was a little wonky. All right. So that said, I think that's neat for the PC gamers. I think that's really cool because I've been in MMO land for so long that I haven't done anything like that.
Now to stop you really quick, when I came over today to play it, I wanted to pop on the multiplayer really quick.
Yeah.
And I noticed it was kind of weird because
Once you start the main game, you have to exit the game and then go look at the and then quit out to multiplayer.
yeah, I spent the time to load up the game.
It's you
then
know what?
I choose
It's-
multiplayer, and then it quits, and then it
more of a
loaded back
hassle.
up.
It's more
And
of
it
a
was just
hassle.
kind of weird.
The PC game is more of a hassle, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I didn't, you had to click a
Right.
button and wait a little bit.
And I'll say this too, and I don't know, maybe we'll be able to show a visual of this. I'm not sure. The screen quality, the picture quality, is noticeably better on the PC. Noticeably,
yeah, and I
and
On-
like
on
almost
this
another
monitor here-
generational level better.
looking at, I don't know if I'd go that far.
Dude, I was
but
looking at it on the 360 in the store, and what I saw were fake emulated versions of like the reality, they faked it on the 360 a little bit. Like it's not quite there.
like they had to dumb it down a little.
It's like a conceptual implementation of what it would look like. And on the PC, it looks like really true, honest to God, water light ray shining through water, bouncing off the wall, moving over objects and stuff. And on the Xbox, it's like you just see like a rotating light, and it's kind of got some shadow.
I kind of
diffusion.
believe that because I was gonna say, like I thought it might just be me, and maybe I was expecting a little more of a jump from the first BioShock to the second as far as visuals, and I don't know, I just didn't see a huge jump like I thought I would.
No, I'm not even on the PC side, but there's just small things.
Right.
And not only that, but it's
those small things that make the difference.
it's also the Xbox is doing it 720p, if that.
No, they're going 1080. They go 1080p.
Oh, yeah.
No, Xbox. I don't think Xbox games go. They'll scale up to 1080, but the actual source resolution of the game is 720. It's just a scaled up 720.
Do you know that for a fact?
I'm pretty positive.
I have not heard that.
I think it's a spec limit of 720p for. I might be wrong. Maybe I am, but I seem to recall that.
Because when you get the games and look at the back of them, it'll say 1080i or 1080p on them. And
All right, I might be wrong, but I seem to recall something like that. Like it's the Xbox has like this amazing hardware scaler that's scaling the image to 1080, but it's not the source imagery
It's
itself
not true.
is not true 1080
Huh.
because the Xbox 360 cannot actually render 1080 3D.
I've not heard that.
It can only do 720. And so what they do is they render the 720 as a high quality, and then they send it to this specialized scaler processor that then scales it up to 1080. That's what I thought. I heard.
Huh.
But
It
I might be
sounds like
totally
you know
wrong.
what you're saying.
Those are some serious allegations, Chris.
I know.
But anyways, regardless, I mean, it's a full 1080p resolution on that, and it's really just stunning. But I didn't mean to make my review take so long. I thought the outside stuff was generic. Not really any point to it other than just being awesome. Rapture felt larger to me this time.
By the outside, do you mean the underwater
Yeah,
parts?
yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were just kind of filler loading.
They were. That's
like
all I
loading
thought,
in
too.
between.
Yeah.
But you haven't gotten to the end yet
Gorgeous.
either.
No.
That's true.
No. I stopped playing not because it wasn't amazing, not because the story was pretty good, but the thing I don't like about this game is it stresses me out. I get because I had the Logitech, my wife got me Logitech headsets for my birthday, and they do this surround sound, and it's emulated, but it sounds real. So there's like stuff sneaking up on me. It gets dark.
That's awesome.
I don't know, man. It gets me all stressed out. I'm all stressed out all day long at my job, and I sit down to play a video game that's stressing me out. I'm like, I kind of want to chill to play video games. Like I play Star Trek Online because I'm sitting back and I'm chilling when I'm doing it. But like with BioShock, I was just getting. It was like watching a horror flick, but like being in it. And then some of it got kind of generic. Like the little sisters or the big sisters didn't get too scary. I don't know. So I stopped playing it. But I know if you're really a story person, I think you got to play it. That's just my deal. I don't watch horror movies for the same reason.
Well, I don't like necessarily that much horror movies, but there's this game. It has those elements that are creepy, but just since you can destroy all the creepiness, it makes it not so scary for me. And it gets tense. And that's the thing that I love about it. I get tense and I feel nervous and scared while playing the game.
Hold on one sec. Stand by. I just wanted to interrupt. Rikai in the chat room got some text from the site. And it's pretty much from Wikipedia. And this sounds like what I was saying. It says, while most games are rendered natively at 720p, the video from all games can be scaled by the hardware to whatever resolution the user has set in the console settings. So you can go from 480i and 576i all the way up to 1080p HDTV, the source material is not necessarily that, but that scaler can take it there, and that's what I had thought.
But then does that mean that the computer source is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just didn't know
the
there was a
computer,
difference.
because the GPU of the computer itself is rendering it live at that time at the desired resolution, whereas the Xbox 360 is set at 720p, right, or lower, or lower. Whereas whatever the resolution of the monitor of your PC is what it natively renders it at.
PS3 the same thing, or are they actually doing it?
I don't know for this game, but I have heard that the PS3. I have heard that the PS3 does do native if they can, but even sometimes they still have a frame rate issue, so they still do the 720p thing. But
very interesting. Now, like Justin was saying, he was the only one that actually got through to the end of the game. So I don't necessarily know how the story ends, but from what I've gathered, it's pretty crazy, pretty cool. Kind of.
Did
in
you
the
guys
same
like it as
vein.
much as the first one?
I did. I liked it a lot.
One of the complaints I heard is the story isn't as rich as the first one. Would you agree?
No, I wouldn't agree.
Really?
I liked it.
It wasn't a little light to you?
Well, it kind of maybe been
I mean,
a bit
did
of
it live up to that first one with the original guy and his interesting story and the guy he was going after? I don't think it did.
No, but there it is cool too, because when you're going through looking for all those the message tapes and everything,
Yeah.
you have these
The journals or logs.
yeah,
The diaries.
Yeah, the diaries. You have you can find some that are the Andrew Ryan versus
Right.
The Fontaine.
no,
No.
the lady.
Oh, the Lamb.
Yeah, Sophia Lamb. You can have there, and it's like those old political debates where
Yeah.
one of them slanders the other, then the other one slanders back and forth. So
Right.
you hear the person that's currently in charge of Rapture
That's
right
cool.
now
Yeah.
fighting with the guy that was in charge of it and built it, and it was cool hearing him talk.
There was nice touches too. Like there was TVs up on the wall that if you stood still, they'd start playing like old weird like Rapture commercials and stuff. Like just it was commercials for plasmoids or
Plasmids.
one was outside of plasmids, or one was outside like a school, or I don't know. It was just cool little stuff they put on there. Nice little 50s vibe to them.
And I think that's what this game does really well, is interjecting those little things to make the city of Rapture feel alive and feel like it's been, used and torn through by all these splicers and everything. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I really have enjoyed the game. I go to work and I've just been wanting to come home and play it. And that's all I can really think about doing right now is
Really?
even doing this show. I just want to go home and play the game.
He has better places to be.
No, talking about it's just as good.
What about you, Justin?
I like the
Is
whole,
this going to be your game of the year? One of them?
it's kind of too early to
Do you think it's going to be in your top 10 though?
Of the year, I think so. for me.
maybe.
Would you say BioShock 1 was in the year that it came out?
I can't recall the other games. Yeah, it was. BioShock was great.
Yeah, I think it was my 1 or 2.
And see, I didn't play it that year, but even when I did play it, it was still.
Do you
with
rate
the
this one?
story.
Is that this?
I don't think it can be, because if you're going in expecting, like, oh, it's got to be better, you're never going to be able to do it. Just like with all sequels.
You know what?
But it's more of the same. They added a lot
Somebody
more
joked-
new elements.
But check this out. Check this out. Somebody joked on like one of the main review websites that it would have been good if it wasn't Rapture, if it was on the moon. Now think about that. What if they'd done this on the moon and it was a whole new environment all over again? See, the problem with this one was Rapture's badass, but we've been to Rapture. But if it was
And
like
I
on the
did like
freaking
going
moon,
back.
like on a retro space steampunk moon base,
It'd be a different game, and
it would be a
like
oh my
System
god
Shock.
experience all over again.
I don't know. That's weird because I guess
think it'd be a better game.
I guess in a world where some guy can build a city underwater, some guy can do it in the moon as well, but it just seems kind of crazy that there's going to be all these utopias being built everywhere by crazy people.
Yeah. But if you're gonna buy Rapture, you could prop back. I think they could sell the moon base.
Well, yeah, but I like that they kept it there. I like that we went back.
It's kind of the Grand Theft Auto thing.
I'm just trying to think of why it's not going to be in my. Well, it might be in my top 10, but it's one of those things where it might be. No, I
Wait.
think it's gonna be. It will be in my top 10. But with BioShock, it was like, oh hell yeah, BioShock. It might be like number 2.
There's a lot of awesome games coming out.
Just
this
saying.
year.
What were you saying with your comparison to GTA?
Oh, with GTA, when you have the first or Grand Theft Auto 3, you're in Liberty City, then Vice City, San Andreas, and the fourth one they bring you back to Liberty City. So maybe they should have done something like that, kind of done your moon base,
I just think
done
the moon
something
base would
else,
be
and then
really
came
cool.
back to Rapture. 8
Yeah.
years later when everybody's holy shit, I forgot about this.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, that might have had more of an impact. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
I-
But nonetheless, still good time. I mean,
and that is one of the things I thought about too. Is that when I was playing through here and there, it's like, well, how come the first time through I didn't hear anything about the big sisters? Maybe I missed it. I don't know. Or how come?
no.
It's
and-
10 years later though.
I know, but and all the stuff with Sophia Lamb, like I don't remember anything, like hearing anything about her. And with me, I don't know, like if I just heard like one little thing about like how maybe Sophia Lamb was in there, and like I said, maybe I missed it, or maybe I just don't remember.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like a weird tangent to take it for making her say something one time in a game you don't remember from the last one. So why would you base a whole other game off of her?
Well, yeah, but you just figure since she was so prominent,
They needed some wiggle room. They needed something they could expand.
which,
a lot
like I
from.
said, it doesn't really bother me that much. It's just one of the little things that kind of nagged at me, but it's very easy for me to overcome that. And like I said, all the new plasmids, finding everything. I mean, I play this game really slow. I search around the levels. I, try to scour for everything. And especially playing as a harvester, I've gotten to buy a lot more plasmids, a lot more upgrades than
Yeah.
the first time around. Because in the first BioShock, I saved them all and played good. And I don't know, it feels like this time I have a lot more cash to spend playing evil.
Definitely a lot more bad guys in this one, right? Number of bad guys you go up against like in a room.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they got the video camera research instead of the still shot.
Right.
And
Oh, now I was going to ask you, both of you, Justin, I think you especially in the preview in the last episode were nervous about being in the Big Daddy suit. You were worried about that not being very good gameplay and then it would get old kind of quick. What'd you think?
I didn't mind it at all. He made groaning noises when you smacked him or he jumped off things too
And he
far.
felt big and heavy, like when he would
He
jump.
did.
Thud,
But
know?
he felt
Yeah.
athletic too, so
Yeah.
you're still moving around at a good clip. You're not just because I was reading one review and the guy was talking about how, I didn't get the sense that I was a big daddy. I felt like I was moving too fast and regular splicers hurt me too easily. Then it's something you want the game to be perfectly easy where you can just start running through the whole entire game,
Well, yeah.
smacking people one
And
time.
you could probably run faster because you're a prototype, so you're a lighter unit, and because you're a lighter unit, you got more damage easier.
Well, not only that, but like right away, the first plasmid you get is pretty much like a speed increaser. So first off, you start off a little slower, but it's just I think so you get a little familiar. But within like 10 minutes, half hour gameplay, you get that boost, and so you're kind of in that speed again.
Yeah.
And and as far as invisible
It's all right.
feeling invincible thing, like I felt if I could get close enough to
Yeah.
drill someone,
Right.
then yeah, if it's just like one-on-one, then I can just drill into them without them hurting me because they just stand there and take it. But yeah, otherwise the battles were pretty damn intense.
So Mike in the chat room says that he can see it being in his top 10 game. There's a lot of games that are coming out every year, but most of them are going to be junk. So he thinks. So guys in the chat room sound like they're pretty much pro BioShock 2.
Yeah, that's
Um,
funny too. That that's a good point. That way more games get released than people talk about. And
Yeah.
they're all garbage.
Oh,
Yeah, they
yeah.
really are. Now I think the multiplayer. I have to fess up something here. I was all over these guys to get multiplayer going. I thought we gotta have multiplayer in this game. This game is gonna be made in 2011. You guys get your multiplayer together. I didn't even play it once. It looks really cool. I jumped in there for 5 minutes.
Well, I was gonna wait. I was trying to play through the story before I hopped in, but really, that's not multiplayer is not a thing that I really go for. What I was hoping for was some kind
Yeah.
of co-op. I always look for a co-op.
That's what I wanted.
Justin
love
and I
co-op, but-
buy games based on the fact that they're co-op. That's why we
Dude,
got
absolutely.
Sacred 2. That's why
I
main
only
reason why we
games I
got
ever beat are
Borderlands.
co-op or MMOs. I will not. Oh, I don't know about MMOs, but I'm going. But standard storyline. The only game I've done in the last 10 years is standard storyline. Well, not 10 years, but in that kind of timeline would be Portal.
Portal.
Yeah, dude.
That game was awesome.
That game's like an afternote, though.
Yeah.
I know.
But didn't you play the first BioShock through all the way?
No.
Oh. So you don't even know the twist.
No. I mean, I kind of have put it together, but my point is, if you co-op, I'll do things like Army of Two all the way to the end.
Ugh.
Yeah.
We tried. We got that game just because it was co-op,
Yeah.
and that was one that we did not play.
Or
Sorry.
Gears of War, hands down. I don't think I've done Gears of War 2 yet though.
Gears
You're
of
not
War
missing
2
out.
was like a Serious Sam, the best co-op game ever. I don't
Is
know.
Gears of War 2 out yet?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's been
okay.
out for a while.
Yeah, so I haven't done that one yet. All right. So anyways, I'm sorry, I kind of rambled. I kind of went off there a little bit.
What I was kind of wondering too, off topic totally, but when are the MMOs going to come to the consoles? I've been waiting forever.
They keep trying.
I think it comes down to you've got like the publisher, you've got the developer, and then you got the publisher, and then you got Microsoft
Or Sony.
or Sony.
Well, sorry, we always kind of hint at the Xbox.
Yeah, you're right. No,
I'm
you're
not
right.
sorry.
I have a PlayStation. Chris has a PlayStation.
But that's a good point, But that's another problem is then they have a separate deal with Sony and a separate deal with Microsoft, and at each step of the way, Microsoft has live. Then Microsoft gets a cut of probably the subscribers that play on live, and then Atari has to take their cut, and then Cryptic gets their cut. And they have made champions for the console, but I don't think they can work that whole thing out, and so they won't release it.
Just because they want their money, they can't get their subscription fees.
They got this game APB coming up. I think it's an EA game.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's like Grand Theft Auto MMO.
But it's on the console?
Yeah,
It's both.
Of course.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that could be. And the other problem is because it's on the live system, or maybe not so much with PlayStation, the MMO players can't play with the people on the PC side. Because live is a self-contained environment. And so
But if it's
your MMO is not so M. It's just multiplayer online. It's not massively. If you're only limited to live. Because if you've got 1 million people playing on PC of any talk about World of Warcraft. You have 11 million people playing World of Warcraft, and then they released it for the Xbox 360 today. They'd probably pick up 10,000, 30,000, 40,000, 100,000 people. But 100,000 people versus 11 million is a pretty big difference.
But if they could do that thing where if you're on the PC live,
They don't have PC Live they all go through BattleNet. Or their equivalent, you know what I'm saying? But they already have a system in place. I don't know.
But I'm just saying for like a new game.
Yeah, for a new game, but but like for Star Trek Online or Champions Online, which both already run on the 360.
Right. They were planning to come out with them, but
they've made them. Champions would be awesome.
I just want to go into their trash bin and pull one of these things out, dude.
But it depends on the developers, and it depends on all the people who got to take their cut. So
you just think too, Microsoft and Sony have wicked, advertising and all that kind of stuff. So you figure they could be pretty successful with an MMO if they tried.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if they really
Flight
tried.
Sim MMO.
I mean, I guess they kind of tried with to an extent MAG, but
no, that's
it's different. It's way different.
It's
I
like
know.
blown up Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just the massive multiplayer.
Are you guys following the new Battlefield that's coming out at all?
No, I really haven't.
I've got a beta of it right now. It's pretty cool. It looks sharp, but I'll talk about that maybe
we
later.
might have to talk about that next week.
So one last thing I wanted to ask you guys about BioShock was, what did you think of the mini games, little hacks and stuff like that?
I liked them. It made it easier while you were running from people. I know you didn't. Did you have to run from people while you're doing the pipe dream thing?
No, see, that was actually the thing that I liked in the first one. It was kind of a cheap way to kind of pause and recollect.
Yeah.
Because, you could be like, oh my God, I'm getting swarmed. And you run to one of those things, hack it really quick.
That was my thing too.
And it pauses everything.
I thought you both would like it live, and I thought I'd be the loser over here being like, I liked it paused.
You know what? I got
it makes you scared.
I did like the pause. I love the pipe dream mini game. I don't know. I'm a big fan of it. I played it on the computer way back when.
Well, all right.
But I really like the new system. It was a way to change it up, like Justin said. It made it more intense. It kept you in the game, I think.
Yeah.
And I loved how if you don't know, it kind of gives you like a green, red, and blue. And if you hit red, you get shocked or security bots. If you hit green, good. And if you hit blue, it's a lot smaller and harder. You get like a little bonus. So then, you can get a free health kit, at the health stations or, a free thing from the vending machines. And so that added a whole new, now I got to get blue every time because I got to get this extra thing because I don't want to pay for it.
Did you
even
guys
if I
hear
don't
about
need
the group that represents colorblind people? And the colorblind people can't see the little mini game.
Dude,
I laugh. My dad's colorblind, and I'm
So's
color
mine.
deficient. But I just think that is kind of funny.
Oh yeah, no, I had a friend that I fished with, and he had a Rubik's cube that he was doing, and he had to mark some of
Yeah.
the green ones because you can tell the green and
Yeah.
the blue, and he couldn't play Zuma past a certain level because he couldn't still tell the difference between the different colors when
Yeah,
the
that's
new
my
ones
old
popped
man,
on.
too, yeah. All right. So, any final words on BioShock before we wrap this show up?
Go buy it.
Yeah,
It's
definitely
a fun
buy it.
game.
Yeah.
If you like the first one at all, then get it.
I think if I read it right, what no, I think it was
The video in the stream right now is Rick Astley never gonna give you up. That's we were
Always
just talking
makes me
about getting
think
we were just talking about getting Rickrolled. That's getting
Yeah.
Rickrolled right there.
Okay.
Sorry guys, go ahead.
I totally lost.
Well, one thing I want to let's just wrap this up with this statement. We were talking about go out and go buy it. When I told my wife, I got to get this game because we're a little tight on funds, I said, but this is the game I got to get. She's like, why? And I said, when you have a system like the Xbox 360, 10 years down the road, you're gonna have like that small collection of games. That's like the games for that console that you still keep that thing around to fire up every now and then. And BioShock and BioShock 2 are gonna be in that small collection.
See,
Because
I'm
they're
gonna
like
trade
the-
it in.
Well,
But
proverbially.
I know what I know what you mean.
But
It's one of
hypothetically,
those
like,
water cooler games
if
that
you
you're
held
always
on to
gonna
every
kind of
console,
go and talk about
right?
again.
If you hold on if you held on to every console, if you did,
he
like
does.
I do.
I have a Super Nintendo and a Sega. I don't have like a lot, but I just have some of them.
I have
right?
it all in a china cabinet.
This would be, and you wanted to keep a couple of like, the best memory games for it. This would be in that collection.
It
Yeah,
would. It
yeah.
definitely would.
There you have it. That's what I'm saying.
I do gotta agree with that.
All right, boys.
But then again, these systems are supposed to last, years longer
Yeah.
than all this stuff. So by the time that happens, you're gonna see a lot more games that are being, a lot better.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So this
And they
game
might not
could
even
get-
have disk drives on after a while.
I
They better
know.
keep those. I don't want to go straight to digital.
Yeah.
I like the digital download part, but
For the cheap stuff.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
care, dude. I would love to be able to get every single game at 12:01 in the morning every time a game came out.
But what happens that day when you can't pay the live membership or something and
Oh,
you can't log in, so you can't get to any of your games?
yep.
I'll let everybody else worry about that.
Okay, all right, cool.
I can afford it.
I'm just saying, hypothetically, there's always that what if, but okay. All right. Is there anything else we should say before we wrap up?
I
All right, well, I'll close with
don't think
this.
so.
I'll close with this. If you haven't picked up BioShock 2 yet, you can support Jupiter Broadcasting by going over to jupiterbroadcasting.com and then /store, because in the Jupiter Broadcasting store, I have the links to buy BioShock 2. If you haven't bought it yet, you can go over to software and games in the Jupiter Broadcasting store, and then there's a link in there for BioShock, and also Mass Effect 2, which we've talked about. And Star Trek Online, all those good things. If you buy it through there, we get a small percentage here at Jupiter Broadcasting. It doesn't cost you anymore, but it helps us out. Okay, everybody. Well, we're out every 2 weeks. You can subscribe to us over at jupiterbroadcasting.com, and we'll see you in a fortnight.
Bye.
Bye, Z.
Thanks for listening to Legend of the Stoned Owl.
Legend of the Stoned Owl is produced over at jupiterbroadcasting.com. That's where you can find the show, subscribe, all those good things, leave us feedback, and also where you'll find us every 2 weeks. Thanks for listening to this episode. We'll see you in a fortnight.